Have you ever noticed that life sometimes hurts the most when you feel you did everything right? You try to be a good person. You work hard. You try to do the right things. And yet, things still fall apart. Plans collapse. People leave. Unexpected problems appear. And quietly, almost without noticing, a question appears in the mind. Why did this happen to me? Soon, another question follows. Does everything happen for a reason? Many people want the answer to be yes. Because if everything has a reason, then maybe the pain is not meaningless. Maybe the universe is guiding us somewhere. Maybe one day everything will make sense. But life rarely explains itself so clearly. Some events arrive suddenly, without warning, without explanation. And when we try to force meaning onto every moment, we sometimes create more confusion instead of peace. If we look carefully at life, something interesting begins to appear. Most events do not come from a single cause. They come from many small things slowly interacting. A conversation leads to a decision. A decision changes a direction. A small moment quietly shapes the future. One meeting can change a career. One mistake can redirect an entire life. Life unfolds like a web of countless conditions. Some we influence, many we never see. And because of that, the future is never completely fixed. But there is something important hidden inside this uncertainty. Even if we cannot control everything that happens, we still participate in what happens next. Every response becomes another cause. Every decision becomes another turning point. Life continues moving forward through the small choices we make each day, which means something surprising. Even when events are outside our control, our direction is not completely decided. When life feels unfair, we often focus on the question, why? Why did this happen? Why now? Why me? But sometimes the mind cannot find a satisfying answer. And searching for it only makes the moment heavier. A quieter question may open a different path. Not why did this happen, but what can I do with what has happened? There are a few gentle shifts that can help when life feels uncertain. The first is remembering what is actually within our control. We cannot control other people's choices. We cannot control the past. We cannot control many of the events that suddenly appear in our lives. But we can still influence something. Our next decision. Our response. The direction we choose moving forward. Sometimes small choices quietly reshape the future. The second shift is remembering that life is always changing. Moments that feel overwhelming today do not stay exactly the same forever. Circumstances shift. People change. And we change with them. Many experiences that once felt like the end of the story later become just one chapter. When we remember that life is always moving, we begin to hold difficult moments more gently. The third shift is letting go of the need for perfect explanations. Not every event will reveal its meaning immediately. Some lessons only become visible years later, and some experiences may never fully make sense. But meaning is not always something we discover. Sometimes It is something we slowly create through the way we respond to what life gives us. So does everything happen for a reason? Maybe not in the way we often imagine. Life may not be a perfectly written script, but it is also not meaningless chaos. It is something in between, a living process shaped by countless conditions, moments, and choices. Some things happen to us, and some things happen through us. When life feels unfair, it is natural to ask, why me? But sometimes the question that brings more peace is much simpler. What now? Because even when we cannot control how the story begins, we still participate in what happens next. And in that small space between what happens and how we respond, there is something quietly powerful. Not destiny, not fate, but the freedom to take the next step. Sometimes the peace we are searching for does not come from finding the perfect answer. Sometimes it comes from releasing the need to control the story. And in that moment of letting go, something unexpected appears. A quiet kind of freedom. When you let go of everything, you gain the whole world. Shunryu Suzuki. This is White Diary, where we sit quietly with the deeper questions of life